Welcome to the Leadership Purpose with Dr. Robin podcast. I'm your host, Robin L. Owens, PhD, and this is where we dive in each week to give advice, tools, and tips for high-achieving, purpose-minded women who've written nonfiction books and want to amplify their message beyond the book. I'm a college professor, and when I'm not doing that, I am speaking, coaching, mentoring, and teaching high-achieving women who have written books how to use their books to make a bigger difference, have more impact, and purpose. Okay, let's dive in. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Leadership Purpose with Dr. Robin podcast. I'm so glad you're here and you take time to listen into the podcast. I really appreciate you. And if you've been appreciating the podcast, I invite you to subscribe and even leave a review. It will really help us forward out the podcast and help more people listen to it. So now today I am talking with Hally Brooke. Now, Hally, is it Holly or Hally?
It's Hally, like Halle Berry, but spelled differently.
I love it. Okay, so everybody, you heard that, right? Hally Brooke. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Hally. Hally Brooke is the founder and CEO of Nourished. She is a certified functional medicine nutrition counselor, nationally board certified health and wellness coach, Fox 21 fitness and nutrition expert, and a fierce industry advocate. Her self-education in nutrition began in 2014 when she battled and overcame her own serious GI issues, which I'm sure we'll hear more about later. And through her own process of finding wholeness, health, and healing for herself, as well as her education and experience with her clients, she has learned that living a nourished life takes more than just eating healthy or working out. And we'll hear more about that later, I'm sure, too. Her life mission, let me just say one more thing. And from her experience, she has built a thriving functional medicine coaching practice. And she works with clients in all key areas of wellness. And her mission is to encourage and empower women by teaching healing. And I can't wait to hear more about that. In the meantime, welcome, Hally Brooke.
Dr. Robbins, it is wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. Now, you heard me read your promo bio, but let's hear from in your own words. Really tell us about who you are and the work that you're doing.
Oh, man. So who I am, I wear so many hats. I am a wife and a soon-to-be mother. I am a mountain biker and a whitewater rafter. I am a business owner. I am a daughter. I'm a friend. I'm all the things. My professional journey, I came out of college thinking I was going to do pre-med. I ended up doing Teach for America, which was going to be a 2-year stint. And I ended up teaching in inner city schools, math to middle schoolers for 9 years.
God bless you.
Thank you. Amen. They give me nectitude. You guys can't see us on the video, but they like wag their necks back and forth and go, no, miss, I'm not going to do that. Okay.
And the hormones at that age. Anyway.
The hormones and the giant gaping hole in their prefrontal cortex is just really something else. Yeah. So taught math in Title I schools for 9 years. Loved it. It was super rewarding and it completely burned me out. So I left teaching. I ended up getting a personal training certificate, and sort of my last couple of years of teaching and my first couple of years leaving, I ended up getting super sick, largely from the stress that teaching put on me. And so I stumbled my way into functional medicine looking for answers for myself when I was told by my medical community that like chicken and lettuce was all I was going to get to eat for the rest of my life. And I should just get used to that. And I said, that cannot be the answer. So let's find something else. So stumbled into functional medicine. It was my personal training clients who convinced me to go back to school. So I went back to school, got a degree in functional medicine nutrition, pivoted my practice into that. And then the pandemic happened and my practice exploded because people were looking for alternative health options and we had them. And so from 2020 to now, I've now scaled my practice. I have 5 functional medicine nutritionists and health coaches who work for my team. And we've got now a whole nationwide company, which is totally wild. And then the pivot that came out of that was I had a number of clients who came to me who were business owners and entrepreneurs and executives. And I realized that we wear a different set of hats than non-business owners and non-executives. Like working a job is busy and it takes time, but when you own a business, it's a whole different level. When you are, an executive of a company, it is a whole different level. You're already wearing all the hats of having a job and being part of a family and friends and being a human and having your hobbies. And then you run a business. And so I just realized that we have a very different layer of things that we have to work through when it comes to being nourished. And so I started doing some research on that and found some research in Forbes and entrepreneur.com that talks about how healthy business owners actually make more money over time and have more successful businesses than non-healthy business owners. And I said, man, this is a need. So my team now runs the full functional medicine side, which we work with patients and practices. And I kind of run the business coaching side where we do executive coaching and business coaching that is integrated with well-being so that you can function as a human and run a business.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot there. Okay.
That was a lot.
Let's go back a little bit, but it's amazing. And I love that you were there. It was almost like it was, planned, that you were prepared in a time when the need was the greatest to do the work that you've been called to do. It's amazing. I love when life works out in that way.
Thank you. Yeah, me too.
So I want to talk more about that, but I want to go way back to the beginning. Did you say soon to be mother?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Congratulations. I didn't want to pass by that.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So now we can move forward to the business and what all that was going on with you and moving from teaching to doing this work. So tell us more. And I know you just gave us the big picture overview, but tell us more. Let's say we'll start with 2014. What was going on then?
Yeah, man, 2014, I had just gotten married. I was in a really unhealthy marriage, which I didn't realize at the time, but I ended up being married to a man who just didn't treat me super well. And so there was all of that stress that was, every time I came home, I was super stressed. And then I was teaching in a Title I school that had low funding. And at that point, I was teaching fourth grade. And my kids were 9 and we had one 10-minute recess a day. So the wheels came off every single day at 2:30 because they're 9 and they need to go run around. Yeah. And so my stress was through the roof. I wasn't taking care of myself. My life looked like, get out of school, come home, try not to get into a fight with my then husband, lesson plan until 7:00 at night, eat something that was in the fridge that I had, or like order food, go to bed, wake up at 5 a.m., go to school, do the whole thing again. And as we all know, we are humans and our bodies can't sustain that. It just doesn't work. So I was not in a place where I was able to stop on my own. And my body finally was like, yep, we're done. So I ended up with IBS and SIBO. SIBO is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and it is one of the gnarliest things that you can get. It causes all sorts of stuff. I had, dark circles under my eyes. My arms were going numb because I had so many toxins in my body. If you guys can see Dr. Owen's face right now, it's pretty great. I was chronically fatigued. I had anxiety and depression that I'd never dealt with ever before in my life. And then the most fun part was I had the worst farts anyone had ever smelled. Like it smelled like something crawled inside me and died and then was trying to get out. And they just kind of oozed out of me. It wasn't like I could hold it and then go to the bathroom and deal with it. I mean, I was just ill. And I went to a bunch of different doctors and was told a bunch of different things and given a bunch of different drugs, and nothing made it better. Some of it made it worse. And so I started doing some research on my own, going like, what the heck is this? And how can I find it? And I started learning about functional medicine and gut permeability and gut microbiome and adrenal fatigue and thyroid function, and kind of created a protocol for myself just out of my own random research. And over the course of about a year with that protocol and a ton of prayer, I'm now completely healed and better. And then turned around and went, man, we got to get this into the hands of more people. So how do we do that?
Wow. And how long did all that take?
Let's see. I started getting sick in 2014. I wasn't better until like the end of 2016. So about 2.5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. But you were determined.
I was determined.
Yeah. Which is wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So you told us a lot there. So let me just kind of break it down a little bit more. All right. Let's start with functional medicine. This might be a new term to some people. Tell us what that is.
Yeah, functional medicine, we say, is root cause medicine. So a lot of times, and I love Western medicine, I always have to preface that it is so important and such a miracle. And a lot of times, Western medicine is very symptoms focused. And so it focuses on the symptoms. And what we say in functional medicine is that's like walking into a kitchen that's on fire and turning the fire alarm off and then walking out. We haven't actually solved the problem, which is that the kitchen is on fire. So we need to turn the kitchen off. So it's the difference between, eczema and psoriasis is a great example. We treat eczema and psoriasis with a gut healing protocol because eczema and psoriasis are an inflammatory response that are caused by something else. Western medicine treats eczema and psoriasis with a steroid cream that you put on your skin and it works until you're out of the steroid cream and then it comes right back. So we go after the root cause.
It treats the symptoms and functional medicine treats the root cause.
Yep, precisely.
Interesting. Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, I find that true in my own experience. Okay. All right. So now you had this experiences with all the pain and discomfort and maybe embarrassing moments, and took it upon yourself to study and learn. And what kinds of things helped you in that? Once you got the education, what kinds of actual things did you do to help your healing?
Oh, yeah, man. So for me specifically, I ended up going through a full gut healing protocol, which is a 5-step process. It's remove, replace, repair, re-inoculate, and then reintroduce. So the comparison is if you break your arm, you put your arm in a cast for 6 weeks, you don't move it, you don't use it, it heals itself, you take it out of the cast, you kind of do some rehab and you're good. I did the same thing with my gut, except that you can't put your gut in a cast for 6 weeks because you have to keep eating or you die. So those next steps remove is what a lot of people do. If they have food intolerances, they take stuff out, but then they skip the repair, which is repairing that gut microlining, the replace and the re-inoculate. And that's what I think really made the difference for me. I used to be super allergic to gluten and dairy, and I can now eat it with no problem because my gut lining is rebuilt and is healthy.
Oh, how'd you rebuild it?
So the first thing you do, a couple fun functional medicine facts for you. So your gut lining, when I say gut, I'm usually talking about your large intestine. Your large intestinal lining is 1 cell thick, which is insane. And so if you think about the skin under your eyes or on the inside of your elbow, that's so thin and delicate, that's about 30 cells thick. So we think about our gut that is in charge of holding all of our food and all of our fecal matter and all of our microbiome bacteria in so that it doesn't leak out into our body. That's 1 cell thick. So one of the ways that we rebuild that is we increase the mucosal lining in our gut, and that kind of works like a Band-Aid. And so when you have a cut on your skin, you put a Band-Aid on it. The Band-Aid doesn't heal it, but it does protect it while it's healing. And increasing that mucosal lining is one of the ways that we do that.
How do you increase the lining?
Yeah. So we use a really targeted supplement called glutalamine. It's a combination of aloe vera and L-glutamine that help increase that mucosal lining. And then we use some targeted probiotics that also help increase that mucosal lining.
Wow. This is amazing. But I'm struck by this idea. And we think about this can be a universal principle. When something's not working, remove it completely rather than repair it. So that's a principle that we can carry in this instance and in other instances, health-wise and otherwise. Yeah, very fascinating.
Amen.
Yeah. All right. So now, tell us about your education. I know you said you have teams that kind of takes care of that, but what types of services and what do you actually do for people?
Yeah, totally. So we say that we have a 2-part journey. The first thing we do is we take people from illness to health, but we say that health is just neutral. Just not being sick is not the same as being well. So we take people from illness to health, and then we take them from health to wellness. And we do that with a combination of both functional medicine and lifestyle medicine. Lifestyle medicine are things like exercising and reducing stress and using high quality nutrition. So we do kind of the nitty gritty functional medicine part, and then we do the well-being part to help people get there. Right now, we do that with memberships because functional medicine has a pretty high barrier to entry. Most functional medicine doctors and programs that you're going to find are $5,000 to $10,000, and they're an upfront pay. Yeah, wow. It is a an elite group. And so we said, that's not okay. We need to have access for people. So we have memberships that start at $12 and go up to $3.99 a month to make it really affordable and accessible for people to get there. And then what we do is we bring people in, we do a 60-minute birth till now intake. So we get a picture of what has happened in your life over your whole life to get you here. And then we do a week of tracking so we can kind of get a snapshot of what's happening in your body and in your life right now. And then we put together a functional medicine lifestyle game plan for you. And then over the course of 6 months to a year, we walk that functional medicine game plan out, because functional medicine can be really overwhelming. If I encourage you to remove gluten from your diet and all you have in your cabinet are Oreos and spaghetti, like we've got some work to do before we can actually implement that program. So that's where the coaching comes in, and we help people walk that out step by step and day by day so that they can actually make change and they have an ally in their corner to do so.
Yeah, it makes sense. And do you help them with the nutritional, how to shop and what to get and that kind of thing?
Exactly. Yep. And we have people who come in at all different levels. You know, we have clients who have never read the ingredient label in their life and have absolutely no idea how to do that. And then we have clients, like I had a client that I talked to today who actually knows an enormous amount about gut health and microbiome and eats incredibly healthy and knows about the shikimate pathway and glyphosate and all of these things. Like she knows it all, and yet she still needs help implementing it. So yeah, we walk with people. One of our values in our company, we have 12 values as a company, and one of them is meet people where they're at. And that is what we do as coaches. So we put together the plan and then we say, all right, here are the stepping stones. Here's that pile of concrete stepping stones. Which of these concrete stepping stones do you want to put down and step on first?
That's interesting. Yeah. What are some of the other values? What's a few more?
Oh man, let's see if I can recite all 12 of them. I don't know if I have them memorized.
Well, maybe not all 12, but just give us a few of them.
Okay. So love God, love people, serve others, always enough, always growing, meet people where they're at, work with integrity at all times, pursue life, joy, and happiness. Sorry. Fun, self-care, and life balance. That's what we rewrote it to. Fun, self-care, and life balance. Treat people the way that you would want to be treated. I'm missing a couple in there, but those are the ones that are at the top of my mind.
I mean, you can't go wrong with those values guiding your company and your way of doing things. You just can't go wrong with that.
No, for sure.
And it's a good model too for people who are, the podcast is for what I call high achieving women who are doing all the things. They're very ambitious, professional, have their own business. And this particular season of podcast, we're even focusing on those who have added to that. They've written a book.
Amen.
So all high achieving women, we seem to have the same, and I say we, I'm one of them, right? We sort of have the same issues, which is why I thought this was a fascinating topic, because a lot of that, all that doing sometimes impacts the body. And
it very much does.
Yeah. So, but to hear those values, if they're business owners, they're inspired by the fact of running your business, guided by your values. So there's a lot of universal kind of messages in here for the listeners, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So now we can your passion is coming through, but we could kind of guess, but tell us what really lights you up about the work you're doing.
Oh my gosh. What lights me up about the work I do is seeing people come alive who had kind of just landed in a place where, all right, well, I guess this is what life is and I just have to survive it. And then seeing people realize, oh my gosh, there's life. Like I can feel well, I can be well, I can do well. And seeing that life spark come back to people. And then not only seeing it come back, but see it grow and thrive. And a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, they're beyond where I could get them, which is so amazing to me. You know, it's like from a functional medicine perspective, seeing people come in who are hopeless, and oftentimes we're kind of the last resort. And then seeing people within a month of working with us go, oh my gosh, I'm not crashing on the couch every single day at 2 p.m. Like, thank you, Lord, is so fun. And then from the business coaching side that I do, helping entrepreneurs, like as entrepreneurs, especially, you know, this high achieving women community, we didn't just start businesses for fun. Like we started businesses because we felt like there was something in us that the world desperately needed to hear. We are mission driven, passion driven women. And so often we start building this business and then we get into the process and we go, oh, this is harder than I thought it was going to be. and
Yes.
I'm exhausted and I'm overworked and I'm burned out and I don't know what to do. And we kind of look at this black and white option of either quit or put our head in the sand and just keep going. And we lose all of the passion for our business and we lose our health and we end up sick and in the hospital. And there's a middle road. And so to see business people, business women, executives who started a business because they love it, have kind of lost energy because they're exhausted, get their health back and get their passion back for what they do, and then figure out how to scale their business in a way that works. Oh my gosh. Like that's why I get up in the morning. It's so fun.
Oh yeah, I could hear it. I can hear it. It rings true for me what you're saying. Now you gave us a little bit, but what's like some indicators? There might be somebody who just have some symptoms or, I know this doesn't replace, kind of medical advice, but there's something that they can look out for to say, hey, could you mention falling asleep at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? And I hear people all the time and there's jokes about it and all this stuff like it's just a way of life. So
Totally.
maybe that issue and or another issue that is common that might, need some functional medicine.
Yeah, absolutely. So a huge one is if you're surviving on coffee. I love coffee. It tastes great. But if you legitimately can't get through your day without coffee, that is a really great indication that your body is not getting energy from the places that it needs to get energy. And so you have to get energy from outside. That 2 p.m., 3 p.m. afternoon crash actually isn't normal. There's so many jokes and there's, like mugs and memes and all of this stuff about it because it's a very real thing, but it's not normal. If you're crashing at 2 or 3 in the afternoon, that means your body is not getting the nutrition that it needs. Your mitochondria isn't functioning the way that it should be functioning. So that's a really great one. If you deal with gas and bloating, also not normal. Like passing gas is normal, farting is normal, that happens. But if it's super stinky or it happens all the time, that's not normal. And that's a big one. Another one are, a huge list of food intolerances. I have women who come to me all the time with this massive list of like, well, I can't eat any of these things. And I go, okay, cool. That's important, but we're going to heal your gut. And then we're going to start plugging some of these things back in. And you're actually not allergic to it. Your body just learned to treat it as a foreign invader because it was leaking out of your gut and it was in places that it shouldn't have been. So yeah, I would say those ones are huge ones. Chronic fatigue, like you're just tired all the time. And it's not because you're not sleeping well enough. It's because your body isn't producing energy, running on coffee, gas and bloating, those kind of things.
Wow. I can imagine there are people right now saying, yeah, I experienced that. I experienced that. And some of that I could say I experienced myself. Okay. So I mentioned that the podcast is for high achieving women, authors, consultants, business owners, and the like. Now, you have a wealth of experience, education. Choose anything from your experience and expertise to encourage the woman that I just described. Any tip that you want to give them related to your professional or personal experience?
Okay, I'm going to read a quote for that.
Okay.
Because I think this is huge since so many of your people are authors and business owners. So this is a quote from Forbes. This is Forbes Business Magazine did a 4-year comprehensive study where they gave surveys and then they tracked people over the course of time. And this is the summary of what they heard. And I think if we as high achieving women can get this in our head that working that extra 3 hours is actually not helpful, taking care of ourselves is, I think we actually would change the world. So here's kind of that summary. In summary, leaders who scored in the bottom 50% of the wellness profile lost money. Healthy leaders made profit, and leaders who ranked in the top 10% of the well-being profile more than doubled the company's profit in a 2-year period in comparison to the other 90%.
Wow.
So as high achieving women, I think so often we think that busy is better, that being overwhelmed and overworked is better, that not having weekends and working late into the night is better. And I love that quote because it's a 5-year comprehensive study that says it's not better. You have to take care of yourself and your well-being, or not only are you going to suffer, but your business is going to suffer. I think that's really profound.
Yes. And I mean, that really summed it up. That quote, that segment that you read really summed it up. Okay. So, the podcast is called Leadership Purpose. Now, what's your thinking about this? Do you think it's important to have a sense of purpose in your work? And if so, why? If not, why not?
Oh man, absolutely. I think it's important to have a sense of purpose in your work. We as humans are designed to live for purpose. I think you can have purpose, whether your job is your purpose or whether you show up to the coffee shop every day that you work at and your purpose is to care for people. I come from kind of that high achieving type A model where I'm like, my job has to be my purpose. And I think what I've learned over the years is if my job is my purpose, I will burn out. If my purpose is bigger than my job, which you read from my bio, my mission is to equip, empower, and free women by teaching healing. That is my mission. I can live that every single day, no matter what I'm doing. I live that in my business. I live that outside of my business. I live that with my friends. I live that in my church. I live that in the grocery store with the clerk checkout person. Yeah, I think living purpose-driven is the most important thing we can do, but it doesn't have to be your job.
Yes.
Your mission has to be bigger than it.
Yes. And I resonate with that wholeheartedly. And I imagine other people who are listening also too. I mean, I feel like I could ask you 1,000 more questions, but that might be in the realm of coaching. So let me not do that. So now, is there anything that I haven't asked you or that you want to share because we didn't have an opportunity to talk about it before we tell people how they can get in touch with you?
Man, that is a fantastic question. Okay, this is where I would leave it. One of the things that I tell my clients is that by the time you're done working with me, my hope for you is that you can make 100% nourishing decisions 100% of the time. And when I tell clients that when they first start working with me, they're like, I don't want to eat a salad every day. And I said, I'm not asking you to eat a salad every day. I'm asking you to make a nourishing decision every day. And so if we, especially as high achieving women, can start to get conscious of asking ourselves the question, what am I nourishing? We become centered, we become grounded, and we become productive. There are times when taking a nap is the most nourishing, most productive thing that you can do. And I think as businesswomen, especially, we don't give ourselves permission to do that. But if I can pause and I can go, what am I nourishing? Like if I just keep pushing through, I'm not nourishing myself. If I take a 15-minute or a 30-minute nap, realistically, I'm not going to lose any time in my day. And I'm actually going to be more productive when I wake up. Me going out for pizza on Friday night with my husband, that is nourishing because I'm nourishing relationship and connection. So getting conscious, putting it in our head of asking ourselves, what am I nourishing? I think we heal.
Yes, I love that. Hally, thank you so much for spending your time and sharing your wisdom and insight and experience with us. Really appreciate it. So now I'm imagining there are people saying, I need that. I've been falling asleep at 2 and 3. I need that. So how can they be in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is the best place to get in touch with us, no matter how you want to work with us. It's www.livenourished.coaching, LIVENOURISHED coaching.com. And from that website, you can click to schedule a direct consult for functional medicine. So for what's going on in your body, or you can go to the drop down that says work with us. You can click on the Nourished Entrepreneur and you can book a call directly with me for functional medicine and business coaching.
That's wonderful. And we'll be sure to put that in the show notes. This has been amazing. Thank you for sharing your insight and wisdom and experience and continue to heal. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you for having me on. It's been a joy.
Okay, everyone, if you want to hear more about me, you can find me on my website, robinlowens.com. And if you are an author and you're thinking about expanding your message beyond your book and you've been thinking, maybe I should create a course based on this book. Well, I can help you with that. I have a free training and just head on over to my website to pick that up at createmasterfulcourses.com, createmasterfulcourses.com. And in the meantime, this is Dr. Robin.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Leadership Purpose with Dr. Robin podcast. If you enjoyed it, head on over and rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode. New episodes drop every week, and I can't wait to hang out with you again soon. Meanwhile, this is Dr. Robin signing off. See you next time.